Alright guys, so hopefully all is well. Um Here I am just I have basically the alternate ascendencies for Legacy of Phresia event. Um there's coming around again here on the 29th. Well, 30th for me, right? Unless I want to stay up until 4 a.m. on the 29th. Not really, but I'll probably just start late like usual. But anyways, here we go. Let's get into this. Um, Ranger, daughter of Oshabi. Here is really strong. Force tracking. Oath of the Magi. That's real looks really strong as well. Um, Here, I think the popular tech is defense from body armors, double no gems. That's fine. If you have equipped helmet, no gems. I mean, that's tempting, right? Right there, you have your defenses and your resist, maybe? And then boots, and then you just. You want life with the gems, no gems and gloves as well. If you can make it work, make it work. If you can't, you can't. Bada bing, bada boom. I'm not sure what Sacred Bliss do. But I think, and spoiler alert, I was looking for a Wander, and then I started thinking about Lightning Strike, depending on what stature Lightning Strike is. I may, and Lightning Strike's a level 12 skill. If I can get it to drop, great. Because it is what it is, right? Double defenses from equipped body armor. Later in the game, you get the better that's going to be. On top of movement speed, if you have equipped boots with no socket gems, sometime I'll be going through the campaign, and I don't know if y'all like me, you forget to socket the boots or socket the gloves, right? So if you intentionally are on your game, you have this. Just don't accidentally socket boots and then be like, damn, why am I so slow now? So that's 30%. So that's potentially 60%. Then you get some Quicksilver Flasks. Lap 2, you get this other one per 450 evasion rate. Rare unique enemies, maybe. The other alternative would be to come here, grab this movement speed versus shrines, right? So to me, we definitely want the shrines, but depending on how hard this is, and I'll have to figure out how to do my laps past the second tier, third tier, and fourth tier, right? Like, to me, is the four ascendancies, if it's like PoE2, right? I'm doing is going to be over here. I'm going for shrines, and I'm going for evasion and 2% attack damage per 450 evasion. Rare unique. That's just a quality of life. And again, movement speed is king. We're going to be zooming through maps probably. I don't know enough about Sacred List to think that Spellslinger is going to be worth it. Because, well, quite frankly, I think there's just too much power between Oath, Forest, Woodland Shrines, and Innate Blessings. And then forget what it was, the Gold Mask Unique that gives you effectiveness and duration and lets you trigger. Which it has a cooldown before it can trigger, but the way we combat that is we're going to be looking for stuff that can extend the duration. By extending the duration, you have a better rotation, better tracking, and yeah, really good, really great. I don't know what these little small nodes do, but hopefully something good. All right, Whisperer. This one's kind of weird to me right here. Intelligence provides no inherent bonus to maximum mana, max mana per dexterity. That's, and again, we have to remember. It's for a ranger, not a spellcaster, and then basically you get this node. Then you can do this. Increased mana cost, but attack skills have damage equal to 4% of your mana. Can you mana stack a wander for that? I don't know. 10 rage is spending 200 mana. Mana recovery from flask. I'm not a flask lover. Down here is pretty good, if you ask me. Minimum frenzy charges, power charges, and then maximum frenzy and power charges. Really, really strong. If you know what you know. Increases in reduction of spell damage also apply to attacks at 150% of their value. This is super fucking strong. That's why I'm wondering as a wander if that could be really good. And then projectiles from attacks fork. There we go. I don't know if they can dual wield wands. I have to figure that out. What class can, I forget. But for sure, probably not a ranger based class. And then Wild Speaker, aka what Ritualist should have been. Because I look at this, I get why they didn't do it. But I look at this and I just feel like this makes more sense to me as a ritualist. Like if this was on PoE2, or half of this and half of what ritualist is currently on PoE2, I'd be like, okay, cool. That kind of is really cool, makes sense. I have to be ritualist. Instead, everyone just goes ritualist for the extra ring DPS instead, which is kind of sad. And there's logic to it. But to me, I don't know, right? Primal Instinct seems to be really, really good. You suppressing spell damage. So you're getting 35% damage from spells. Cat Stealth. I don't know how to get Cat Stealth though. Tailwind is really strong. And again, if we had this on a ritualist, Great Wolf's Call, that paired with something like this, summon spectral wolves, paired with wolf pack, paired with pounce, I could see a really cool werewolf ritualist. But we don't have all that, unfortunately. But I mean, this could, for this league, it could be pretty good. Because boon of the first one's killing a rare monster, getting a modifier for 20 seconds. Nearby enemies killed by anyone being killed. Nearby enemies killed by anyone count as being killed by you instead. Magic Find Botters, unfortunately, will be going Wild Speaker, right? Because you can get it. Let's look at this, though. How we get here? We go. So you have options. You can go with this and then this. Or you can go here. I think the better support would be that and then go for the charges. That could be a build. And then you have aspects, buff effects. Again, I feel like PoE2 Ritualist is missing out on this ascendancy, and it's unfortunate. Um, there's there's some really cool stuff like aspect of the cat, aspect of the bird, aspect. Oh, you can get that, and then aspect of avian also grants avian might and avian flight to nearby allies. I just don't know what I don't know on that. But I think that would be a really cool ritualist like build. Um, Marauder, Antiquarian. Again, 60% more damage as the projectiles get farther. That's really I think that's pretty good. Reduced dexterity, but you can't be evaded. That's kind of strong. Gain ward instead of 50% of armor evasion rating from equipped body armor. Again, here's that weird word that in last epoch we all know what that means really easily. Faster restoration of ward, global defense is increased, and then gain adrenaline for 10 seconds. Adrenaline grants 100% increased damage, 25% increased attack speed, casting movement speed 10%, and physical damage reduction. When ward breaks. Increased duration. I don't. Is that skill duration? I don't know. No intelligence. You can get a shit ton of strength, which is a shit ton of life and damage. Increased stun and block recovery. Eh. Okay. That's enough for that one. That could be interesting for some people, maybe. Behemoth. I'm not really that interested. Per fortification, 10 plus 10 to fortification. Character size, spell skills deal no damage, disabled. Melee hits, rampage. Bonuses for killing multiple enemies in quick succession. Melee hits, fortify. Regenerate 0.2% of life per fortification. Veil attacks cost rage instead of requiring souls. Armor applies to chaos damage from taking hits. That's strong. Armor stacking. That could be kind of good. 4 mana per 4 strength. Power of purpose. Oh, gracious. Sorry, y'all. 8% mana converted to twice that much armor. So if you have 1,000 mana, that's 1,600 armor, right? Unarmed melee attack and critical strike chance, 10%. Critical strike chance is lucky while low life. You can make yourself low life somehow. That's really, really strong, right? Again, you're going to have to get this. Then you can get stuff like this. So that's really strong, but it's behind a wall of ascendencies, unfortunately. Ancestral Commander. And a lot of people love this. Summon Spirit of Rakiata, Kilova, Utula, um, all these cool like spirits, whatever. Totems. I won't be doing this, so I'm sorry, y'all. It sounds like really cool for some slower builds, but my league starter, I want it to be able to kill fast, kill efficiently, and be energy shield evasion based for some reason. Because then, more evasion I have, the better it's going to be. And then now we're on Shadow. I mean, for like a warrior, this is like the Warbringer, right? Very defensive, and then you have your spirits. It's just instead of the ancestral spirits, to me, this is more of a island, tribal island type of thing that they're doing here. Um, Convert fizz to fire, strike also. Now, if this born under fire, right? This should be more of a chieftain skill, but hey, what do I know? Or for the PoE tours, Smith of Katava, they should have something like that to where you just convert. I think what they should do is just have that conversion applicable. Damage taken from hits can chill you. Reverse check effect of chill, right? That's kind of strong. Okay. Glacial Wave. Enemies chilled by your hits lessen their damage dealt by half of the chill effect, right? So if you're at, I don't know, 35% chill effect, it's about 17-18% damage reduction. That's strong. And then they're taking that 35% more increased damage. Well, that's not more, that's just increased, so that's additive. And here it does say lessen and increase, right? So multiplicative and then additive to the damage boost, right? All right, so you come here, you get this, you get this, you get this, you have two left. You can go ahead and do this, and then you have 30% movement speed, damage, attack speed, cast speed. My only question is, as a wander, this is kind of bait, right? Because you don't have anything that converts to that kind of converts to wherever you need to be. Right? Surfcaster, Lob Spark builds do this, and then they just come up here, and then come up here, right? Now, your lightning damage converted to cold, and cold damage can shock, right? There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then your 7th and 8th points probably go right here. But you could, yeah, I think they would go there, and then, yeah. Oh, up to 30% depending on the amount of cold on the hit for 2 seconds. So, 30%, my bad. So 15 figure maxed out, 15% multiplicatively less, and then 30% additively, addition wise to that. I mean, it's not a bad idea if you have a good lightning build, right? There's just no evasion, and this is kind of like this node right here is the bait, right? This node's really strong. Like, there's a lot of really strong nodes here, right? Like, you get this, you get this. Um, like, depending on the skill and build, it is what it is. Um, Possibly one of the better ones. Um, if you're just trying to have fun, get into where you need to be, make you a shadow, try to have some fun. All right, next one. All right, Kali. Um, Again, now here's something they're getting lazy. They're not really telling us what a lot of this does. Okay, fatal bite. Physical 30% physical damage, extra chaos, while at max power charges. 20% gain power charge on hitting enemy inflicted with spider web. Envy skill seemingly is strong. Trigger raise spiders on kill. Aspect of spider skill. Aspect of spider has no reservation. I think the biggest problem is, oh, I would love this. They need to redo Lich, right? And make them. I would love this on Lich on PoE too, right? Minions to critical strike multiplier 5% per wither debuff. That you're withering constantly. That's like 50% multiplier. Like some of this stuff right here. This right here. That's really strong for minions. And then you get ray spiders. I would love Lich to have a little bit of this in their kit instead of the weird ass. I need to be spellcaster bullshit. Cringy shield clears all my energy shield and I'm CI, but I die in one hit. Or I want to be a crossbow, but I'm a stupid Lich. But I'm being nerfed in a season, right? I just really don't like how the Lich is built right now. And that's just me. Maybe y'all have different opinions on this. But for me, I'm looking at this, I'm looking at what in this can they take out or add to certain ascendencies that would just make them good. Like, you take some of this stuff and you could add it to a Lich and make it a more viable summoner. You can make it a more viable chaos-based hybrid summoner spellcaster that just owns all chaos. That's all pure chaos damage. Right? But I mean, this could be good. I don't know. It's a shadow ascendancy. Now again, Withered on hit, poisons on hit. That's really good. I can see Peacock maybe doing this build. But let's go to Blind Prophet now. Um, Abyssal. Increase life and mana per Abyssal affecting you. That, if you're doing Abyssal build, that's probably strong. Projectiles fired in random directions, but they have 50% chance to return to you. Sightless, you're blind, but your crit chance for weapons is 12%. That's strong, but it's also double-sided. Unless there's some gear I'll have to do some research on. But if only there was some uniques out there that would, when blind, inverse effect, when blind, super good effect out there, and then that might be more notably taken. So you have to take that, it says, or you have to come this route with the Abyss, and you're stuck with that. Right? Am I seeing this wrong? Yeah, so yeah, it's forcing you one way or the other. You have to take that. Projectiles. I don't know. Blind Prophet could be good. It has that crit chance. But you're blind, which affects your evasion rating, inaccuracy rating. But let's say you did this, and then what would be the better one, right? You could do this and this. So you'd have 2 additional projectiles, which is actually really strong, but they're going in random directions that you have 0 control over. So I don't know. It could be like a Nova, like you can build up somehow extra projectiles with something like Peacock, which is more control based. Better to have control over it than not control over it. And then none aura curses you inflict, so you're manually casting, are not removed from dying enemies to create corpse explosions. Elusive on crits, 15% avoid all damage from hits, and 30% increased movement speed. Reduces effect over time, removing itself at 0%. If you already have elusive, you can't get it again. It has potential, right? My favorite one though is Surfcaster out of these, and then Servant of Erekali. But let's look at Harbinger, right? Energy recovery, shield recovery rate, mana recovery rate. I like that note already. Summon Great Harbinger of the Arcane. Increased area effect of hex skills, temporal chains, has no reservation if cast as an aura. That's kind of strong. Immunity curses while channeling, unaffected. Immune to basically curses, chill, and shock while channeling. Buffs expire 30% slower, debuffs faster. Solid. Cooldown recovery rate, that's really strong. Greater Harbinger of Time skill. Summon Greater Harbinger of Focus. So if you didn't want Harbingers, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 kind of to kind of go after. Again, we have to know what the Harbinger skills actually do, and that's just where it is. Herald, basically all your Herald based, you're going to be a Herald based character here. Additional elemental damage reduction is equal to half of your chaos resistance. Maximum charge is 0, right? So you can't get any type of charge. Elemental conflicts, whatever that means, unfortunately. Plus 3 levels to Herald Gems. But let's look at this, right? Let's look at this, right? Aura skills disabled. Reservation efficiency of Herald skills, 200%. I'm looking at this like that's really strong. Herald of Thunder, Herald of Ash, and Herald of Ice. Then Herald of Purity, increased buff effects. Depending on which one you want to go, I'm thinking Agony has the most benefit just because it gives you that resist. And then you come up to, you could pair that with this. And then gain additional elemental damage reduction equal to half of your chaos resist. It doesn't say if it's uncapped. I don't know how that works. Someone please drop it in the comments. Let me know. But if it's uncapped and you have 150, well, now you're like the inverse of Smith of Katava based off your chaos. That's actually really strong as long as you don't care about power charges, frenzy charges, or endurance charges. Now let's see. Coming up this other way. Crit chance for Herald skills. Increased area of effect. That's strong. And then you cap it off with level of Herald skill gems. So that would be what? First, second, third, and fourth. Or you could go first, second, third, fourth, or fourth. I don't know how you would want to do this, right? Depending on what heroes you want to go. It has some strong side to it. Bog Shaman. Let's see. Minus 3 life per level. But instead of energy shield, you get life. Lose life per second. Percentage of life per second. See, stuff like this is really, 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 really nasty. 40% more damage over time. Chance to be poisoned. All maximum resistance while poisoned. You cannot be poisoned while there are at least 5 poisons on you. Nearby enemy cast resistance 0. That's strong, right? Pacify, you don't really care for there. What's this? Writing core skills. Still, you 100% mana spent up front. Skill mana cost as physical skill damage. Gain added chaos damage equal to 40% of mana cost. So you're taking life cost to get a little chaos on there. Okay, malediction. It's a nice little buff, but like, why would you get Nightblood? Gain added physical damage equal to 80% life costs. I mean, it is what it is. I'm not a fan of bog shamans. Sure, you could have like this stupid build if you want, but I mean, there's just nothing on here that screams like there's sanguine power. Like, this is kind of like your blood. Not even your blood mage. At least your blood mage can leech life back. There's just a lot of this that is just overwhelmingly kind of stupid to me. All right, Gambler. I remember this one being talked about, but chance to deal triple damage, 30% chance to double damage, but you deal 25% less damage. Crit strike chance is lucky, damage with hits is unlucky. Right? Risk aversion, that's kind of decent. While you're on low life, that's kind of good. Hits have 50% chance to treat enemy monster elemental resist as inverted. That's kind of strong, but you have to take this first. Less 25% elemental resist, and then 50% chance for elemental resist to count as 9% against enemy hits. So that's good and bad. I think that's a really strong defense and offense. And then you just have to figure out which what else you want on here, right? Honestly, I would take risky exploit, reverse odds, and then growing accumulator, and then spectacular parlay probably. But I don't know if it's that strong. Paladin. Warcrafts have infinite power. Curses inflicted on you instead of linked targets. Increase effect of non-curse auras from your skills while you have a linked target. Again, I don't know how to link level of all linked skill gems. Like, I don't know like the linked targets. I'm assuming it's Maybe it's working like Sacrifice was on Ragnarok Online used to be. Discipline skill, determination skill, grace skill. I don't know what they do. Elemental relic: when you or nearby ally kill an enemy, hit a rare unique enemy. That's pretty good. Nearby enemies take increased elemental damage. Consecrated ground while you're stationary. Effects like linger for 4 seconds. Okay. Interesting. I don't know what I like or don't like here. I think definitely worth you could try doing elemental valiance with light of divinity and then figure out if one of these skills are worth it. If you're doing link skills, go that route. Um, it is what it is. Aristocrat. Passive skills, level of skill gems, right? And then here's some pick your poison up. Can't be shocked if it is higher than strength. 30% int. Cannot be ignited if strength is higher than dex. 30% strength. Cannot be frozen if dex is higher than intelligence. 30% dex. And then you have skills here. Level of non-exceptional support gems. And then quality of skill gems plus 15%. Items and gems, 25% reduce attribute requirements, 5% increase damage per 5-year lowest attribute. This kind of reminds me of like the Gemling Legionnaire a little bit. Alright, Architect of Chaos. Evidently a Bell skill gem setup here. Um, I just don't know. Definitely for League Starter, I will not be doing this. Corrupted item. Max life, max energy shield. -4 resist for each. Oh, get the fuck out of here. I suddenly hate that node, but it is what it is. Reduce soul gain prevention duration. And then increased critical chance. So you could go here, then up here. Increase spell skill duration and less souls used. I don't know what those do. Lost life instead of mana. If you're a life stacker, maybe that could work. Who knows? Polytheist. Regenerate 8% life per second. Spell skills still no damage. Spells disabled. 300 max life. I don't like that because it fucks Holy Fire. Can't be frozen max cold. Now, thankfully, we do have a way around this. Enemies you hit have reduced life regen, blah blah blah. And then 30% more attack damage. Yeah, I don't know. It's just another like little hex reflection. Your hexes can. So we can reflect hexes. Remove immune to reflected damage, but they're taking reflect out. So I don't know who'd all be polytheist, but it is what it is. All right, puppeteer. 20% maximum life of maximum energy shield. Minions get the same. That's interesting. You can apply additional curse weapons. You animate additional copy. Raise zombies. Caustic ground. Raise zombies do not. Yep, so this is going to be like your raise zombie build. Okay. I mean, it is what it is. And then finally, for Scion, we have Scavenger. So I need to make a choice, right? It's definitely going to be. I'm definitely thinking Dire of a Shabi Lightning Strike or the Scion. Did I miss any classes? Herald Witch. There's Shadow. Marauder, which is Warrior. And then you have Ranger, Marauder, Duelist, Shadow. And then we also have the Scion. Physical damage can shock? Oof. Weapon physical damage is extra. Alright. So if we were to go wander on a Scion, we could. Fox Shade seems tempting. And then Blunderbore is also pretty good. And then, of course, Stasis Prison. And then, so basically, we'd be going one here, here, and then capping off there, right? So then let's look at our wand stuff. Battle Mage. Gain added spell damage equal to damage of your main hand weapon. Whatever that means for you. Summoner build. And then spell damage leeches life. If equipped, shield has at least 30% chance to block. And then energy shield per 5 armor on shield. Armor per 5 evasion on shield. 20 evasion per 5 maximum energy shield equipped on shield. So that could be a good defensive countermeasure. Obliteration here is really strong. Power charges if you want. And then I'm looking at this. I'm trying to figure stuff out here. I think obliterate might be pretty strong. Or the defensive countermeasure would be Cerebus Limb, just for the defensive countermeasure. And then Death Rush can be good. Um, I'm thinking as just purely as a wander. Um, to apply to number of targets projectiles splits towards skills fired 2 additional projectiles. So is that forking? So trying to figure this out here. So Harbinger, Herald. Blind Prophet, let's. Because that would have additional projectiles, right? And then you have stuff like this that is fucking useless in your way, though. Right? But Blind Prophet could be an option. Sermon of Ericali, we could be a Wanderer. And then I just don't know. There's Envy, there's Fatal Bite. I may have to look at what people were typically as wanderers. Surfcaster, but again, a wanderer is kind of doing mostly physical, I believe. I may try to find a wanderer and figure that out. Now, as a wanderer, right, we definitely could go shrines, right? I wonder if that could help be good for wanderer as well. But I think my league start is going to be Lightning Strike at this point. Whisperer, projectiles from attacks fork, but I don't know Kinetic Blast of clustering, if that's going to be that good for this. Now we all know. But, I mean, for Wanderer, I don't know. like a surf casting wanderer, if you could find a good way to get cold and lightning damage to do enough on it, but who knows? I have to do more research on this, I think. Harbinger, Herald. I wonder if, I don't know. Wasn't impressed with Bog Shaman. Again, some of this is just really bad. And then here's Scions. Like you could go pure valve with Blunderbore there, and then I don't know. Spell damage leech has life, blah blah blah. But for right now, I mean, I'm leaning towards okay. Let's have fun. Do the shrine build, lightning strike, and then mm. I mean, we could do this Whisperer, right? We get forking, and then we could see if this is good, and then we could go here and just try to get more decks in the build if we have to. But anyways, I'm probably going to be going Wanderer as a second character, and then going all in on this lightning strike build if I can. But until next time, y'all, be well, do well, and treat others well. Leave a comment, like, follow, subscribe. By the way, if you're trying to avoid this event due to PoE burnout, I understand. But at the same time, remember now, they are dropping some loot boxes, so if you're free to play, definitely going to want to do this event. Get your level 50, 90, whatever. Get your loot boxes and enjoy. But until next time, y'all, be well, do well, and treat others well. Like, follow, subscribe. Leave some comments. Let me know your opinions. I'm leaning towards Lightning Strike and Shrines up here, right? I'm leaning towards Lightning Strike and Shrines, and again, Forest Tracking and Oath of the Magi, just because it's the most logical one. So, notables I have seen that like this kind of hurts no socketed gems, but you do get the buffs you get are really good. I won't go for the gloves, but I may leave the helmet empty for the resist and just go weapon gloves with the gems, and then of course, shield, and then hope for the best energy shield evasion bases I can find, and then of course doing our shrines, and hopefully we can transcend whatever end game that we need to do, whatever we need to do. But anyways, until next time, y'all, be well, do well, and treat others well. Look forward to seeing y'all and hopefully have some fun with this event. Until next time, y'all. Again, be well, do well. Most importantly, treat others well now.